Hey, so this is my evaluation of the 2011 EDNF Learning Conference. According to Elliot Clark, which is the chairman of EDNF, 547 people attended the two-day conference this year. He enforced for about an hour that EDNF is not a for-profit corporation, that they're a non-profit, and he announced the goal of initially raising $20,000, but with a random request of an audience member, he raised the goal to 25,000, which was met. And if you do a little math, nothing really adds up. I say this because scholarships only waive the conference fee. It doesn't include hotel costs. So I was awarded a scholarship for 2011 EDNF conference, but I quickly realized that I was only awarded the opportunity to attend the lectures. The seating was limited for a lot of lectures. There were many people sitting on the floor. Um, in the classrooms, the screen was so low to the floor that if you sat in the back, you could not see. You could only see like the top of the screen. You couldn't really see the whole thing. So those people sitting on the floor just were listening. They couldn't really see the presentation. Um, but even for the banquet, there were rows of seats set up in the back of the room to accommodate for excess people. Um, I charged $708 for solely a hotel and parking charges, and that was the EDNF discounted price. What really disappointed me though was the fact that I had to go out of the hotel to find a restaurant to prepare my food because they did not accommodate for me for my food allergies when it came to um, just the two lunches and the banquet dinner. Um, Although I did notify EDNF of my food allergies in advance, I did not receive any accommodations, so it cost them absolutely nothing for me to attend this conference. The hotel room was very basic: no refrigerator, no microwave, no working coffee maker, no working vending machine on my floor. I was on the 10th floor. Um, the internet service cost $13.95 for 24 hours of service, which was supposed to be included in the EDNF package, but there was no like conference package prior to checking in, so there was no way of knowing this in advance. And there was also no breakfast included, and the cost of breakfast, if you were going to have it at the hotel, was a minimum of $28. Um, just to clarify my frustration, it's not with the guest speakers. I'm frustrated with the EDNF event organizers themselves. If each guest spent $325 to attend the conference, assuming they aren't paying more for being a non-member, and 547 people attended the conference, minus the 11 scholarships EDNF says that they gave out, we have approximately $174,000, approximately. That is not counting those who paid $375 after the early bird special. Um, the doctors who spoke did not get paid to attend the conference and gave presentations. So I wonder how much it really costs to rent the Hilton for 2 days, because it says it was a 3-day conference, but on Thursday there was nothing going on. There was no welcome speech. There were pretty much just exhibitors set up at a table um, that just were selling things, really. So to rent the Hilton for 2 days definitely does not cost more than $174,000. Um, it would be nice if they announced their finances to at least their paid members so that we could have more confidence in where our donations are going. But I'm not trying to make EDNF my enemy, but they refuse to answer any questions regarding their finances. They are aware that many people are talking and asking questions, where they even made it a point to dedicate the first couple hours of the conference to clearing up rumors. To quote the chairman, Elliot Clark, the board members make $0, absolutely $0. They are all volunteers. So why don't they announce how much they are paying the president annually? Why don't they announce how much money goes towards paying the staff? They didn't mention any of that. They just mentioned that the board members are volunteers. All I want to know is where the donations are going. Are they going to research, and what research? In addition, each exhibitor that was selling to the guests had to pay EDNF individually for their tables. And last year they announced that they raised $20,000 to provide scholarships to this year's conference. I was one of the 11 that got these scholarships, and 11 times $325 does not equal $20,000. Um, Before applying for the scholarship, I called and spoke with the representatives of the EDNF and asked how they justified such a high cost to attend the conference. They informed me that many EDSers have allergies, and in order to accommodate all of them, that they would have to charge this amount. And they had a form that I filled out informing them specifically about all of my allergies. However, I received absolutely no accommodations. When I arrived, no one was aware of my allergies. I ended up having to purchase food outside of the conference. So I know a lot of my issues was also with the hotel, but being a national foundation that's supposed to understand the needs of EDS sufferers, I expected for the location to be more EDS friendly. In my opinion, EDNF did not choose a location where all of our needs could be addressed. I do want to emphasize how grateful I am to have been able to attend and meet so many wonderful doctors, speakers, and fellow EDSers. The first person I met the very first person I met at the conference was a fellow EDSer with vascular EDS from Egypt. She actually traveled all the way from Egypt to attend this conference, and she recognized me from my videos, and she just made my day. I also met a wonderful, refreshing couple from New York, Zach and Lydia. They were so sweet and down to earth that I actually looked forward to running into them throughout the conference. I met some very sweet EDSers, and for that I am so grateful to have went. Also, Dr. Francomano, she was the first speaker, had a very informative presentation that had to unfortunately be cut short because the chairman talked too long. But with the little time that she did have to speak, she was definitely worth listening to. I was particularly interested in her classification of the subtypes of EDS. She mentioned EDS with Marfan-like habitus, which described me to the T. Like, they're tall, thin, difficulty putting on weight. And she also described another subtype, the classic type with vascular features, which I also fit into. So I posted my notes online at edsers.com under resources. So if you have some time, it's worth reading. Dr. McDonald, his presentation showed her presentation, sorry, showed great promise for vascular type EDS, and that's definitely worth a read if you do have vascular type. She's definitely on her way to possibly solving the puzzle for vascular EDS. Um, Dr. Henderson's presentation gave me hope for relief via neurosurgery. Although neurosurgery is super scary, his presentation definitely made me anticipate an appointment with him. Like, he could possibly um, just provide a better quality of life being an EDSer. Um, but if you have Chiari malformation or any tether cord syndrome, just read the notes. He is definitely the surgeon you want working on you. Dr. Dahmerhalt is a physical therapist that spoke, I felt like he was speaking to me, even though he was speaking to a room full of people. I felt like he was speaking directly to me. He seemed to just really understand EDSers and our bodies. And in my notes, there's a link to his site. He offers to speak to physical therapists anywhere in the country regarding treating EDSers with proper physical therapy techniques specifically EDS type 3, the hypermobility type. So if your physical therapist feels lost with you, but they're trying to figure you out, he would be a good reference. Um, the rest of the speakers were informative, but it was a lot of info that I was already aware of and easily found via the web. So I just want to reiterate that my issue is not with the information that was presented to us. My issue is with the event organizers who seem to really just be out of touch when it comes to understanding EDS and just the whole community. Uh, I didn't appreciate the shady nature in which they attempted to raise money for scholarships. Um, the the numbers just don't add up. If they were just honest with us, I feel like we'd appreciate it more. But I stay out of touch because of the vibe of the whole conference. It was just very depressing. Not the speakers, but the organizers. Um, when we were allowed to enter the banquet room, I felt like I was walking to a funeral. The lights were dim, no music was playing. The PowerPoint presentation uploaded on a large screen was in black and white, and EDS was written in red, like bright red. And throughout the conference, from beginning to end, the chairman of the EDNF called us sufferers. Like every single time he referred to us, he said, "Sufferers, you are sufferers." He said, "I'm not a sufferer, but my stepdaughter is." And it's just, I don't appreciate being called a sufferer. Yes, I live with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome every day. I deal with chronic pain on a regular day, but the last thing I want to hear is that I'm a sufferer. Many say that by calling us sufferers is acknowledging our condition and the pain that we must live with on a regular basis. But how about you call us surfighters? It's a term I coined meaning we are surviving the fight. Or if you don't want to use that term that I just made up, you could just call us survivors then. Call us EDSers, something more positive than sufferers. Acknowledge our condition by taking our donations and funding legitimate research projects that will bring us to a cure. EDNF just doesn't seem to understand EDSers. Pity is not support. Yes, we are sick, but we are not sorry. EDS has made us very strong people that take on and adjust to each day as it comes. It would have been nice if EDNF gave a presentation on how loved ones of EDSers can better understand proper methods of encouragement. I noticed that the staff and board members of EDNF has confused pity with support. I don't believe in encouraging pity. I don't believe it's healthy for us EDSers. Yes, we are in pain every single day. We will die with EDS. Yes, it's a genetic condition. But we will also live fulfilling lives with EDS if given the proper accommodations. Don't pity me for the way I was born. Support me because I choose to push through the disabilities of having EDS. Pity those that have made a series of bad life decisions, landing them in the streets homeless. Don't pity me for the way I was born. So that's my evaluation of the EDNF conference. I just want to extend my hand to all of my fellow surfighters. Let's show them that we're stronger than they think. Don't fall into that pity me, woe is me attitude because it just makes life harder. But I promised everyone that I would make a video with my evaluation of the conference, and there it is.